well-dressed woman knocked on the door of a home where she knew that there were some compassionate people living. She was a Jewish woman. She had a bag of clothes in her hand, and she asked if they would take care of her for the night because the Gestapo were going through the community and had come to her house, and she was afraid to go back to her own home. So the Ten Boom family took her in and provided refuge for her for the night for some time, and with that began a story of care provided by the Ten Boom family, particularly by Corrie Ten Boom, who has since become well known by her story of her experiences under Nazi Germany's oppressive regime, a story called The Hiding Place. She and her parents, with the direction of an architect, built a small wardrobe-sized room within their home that was only about 30 inches deep. It had an air vent leading to the outside, and Jewish folks who faced death or at least imprisonment by the Nazis would come in a kind of underground railroad to the Ten Boom house and seek refuge there for a period of time. Ten Boom food at that time was being rationed out among the people, and Corrie Ten Boom would have to go to the individual rationing out that food and ask for sufficient tickets to provide for these Jewish refugees. The man who offered them was a good man, and he took care of the Jewish folks by extending them extra food coupons. A place of sanctuary has been a place that the church has offered for centuries. In fact, when you look at church buildings today, in Protestant churches, we call our rooms for meeting sanctuaries. Some churches, particularly closer to the Roman Catholic tradition, would consider the altar area the sanctuary. But in any case, there is a place of refuge so that those who are facing especially political pressures and opposition could run into the church, into the sanctuary, to find a hiding place, a place of refuge. The Church of the Lord Jesus Christ has always been a place that shows concern for those in trouble and in need. The compassion of the church and its mercy ministries is not hard to find. From soup kitchens to hospitals to a wide variety of ways in which churches have ministered to the needs of those in trouble. Perhaps it goes back at least as far as the days of Isaiah. When Isaiah preaches a sermon not in Moab, or perhaps especially to the Moabites, but in Judah, probably in Jerusalem, and possibly in the king's court. Possibly in a situation where delegates from Moab or political representatives of the government of Moab would be present in the courts of Israel, in the courts of Judah, and they might hear what Isaiah has to say. In any case, it is an oracle concerning Moab, but principally given to the people of God, the church, those who were faithful with Isaiah and trusted in the Lord. They heard this word from Isaiah concerning Moab. Now, Israel and Moab, Judah and Moab, did not always have the friendliest of relations. Moab at times was a thorn in Judah's side and created troubles from time to time. During the days of David, they were under David's control, and they paid tribute to David, perhaps in the form of lambs or what have you, recognizing the authority of the Davidic line over them. But the relationship between the people of Judah and the people of Moab goes far back into both their histories. Back to the days of Abraham and his nephew Lot. You remember the story when Lot goes down into Sodom and Gomorrah? Abraham and Lot look over the land and they must divide their property, and Lot sees Sodom and Gomorrah as a prosperous region. So he goes down to there and settles eventually within the cities. But God comes and tells Abraham that he's going to destroy the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham, concerned about this, negotiates with the Lord for the release from judgment of these cities. Lord, if there are only 50 righteous, will you not spare the cities? Yes, if there are 50. You recall, Abraham comes all the way down to about 10 people. Yes, I will spare the cities. But there weren't even 10 righteous people within the city. The angels of the Lord come to Sodom, and they get Lot and his family. His sons-in-law think Lot is joking when he tells them that the Lord is going to destroy the cities and we need to flee. So they stay right there. Lot comes out with his 2 daughters and his wife. His wife, as he's running from the cities, looks back against the warnings of the Lord, and she's turned to a pillar of salt. Lot goes to Zoar and asks the Lord to spare that city because the journey is too great for him. And he's there with his 2 daughters, and then when they see the judgments, they flee from there and go up into a cave. And it's there in that cave that the nations of Ammon and Moab are conceived. Now, Moab, the nation of Moab, is situated to the west across the Dead Sea from Judah. That's the region where they occupy. And though they come eventually from Abraham's own father and trace their lineage that way, they did not share Abraham's faith, even the faith of Lot, who is described in the New Testament as a righteous man. They did not share his faith, but worshiped Chemosh, an idol. And so here is Moab off to the side, and Isaiah has a prophecy given to them of destruction that is coming. But it will come so suddenly, it will be as though it occurs within one night. And the principal cities will be devastated in one night. In the course of that, people will flee as refugees, and Isaiah charts the movement from the northern cities of Moab towards the southern region, to the farthest extent that they could go. Refugees fleeing from destruction.